things I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Let me turn this down a little bit there. That way I'm not Mr. Microphoning it up. Anyway, hope everybody is having a good evening. Going to try, as I said in the video I put out earlier, going to try to do another test tomorrow of the solar panel and the Go Power Plus. I'm going to try to get out there before the sun comes up because I typically wake up before then. And I'm going to try to get it set up out there with the 28 watt panel and catch it from twilight all the way until I just can't, pull any more sun into it, and see if there's any chance that if I do everything I can to keep it tracking the sun, if 28 watts can charge that Go Power Plus in a full day. I personally think it's going to be a hell of a challenge, and I'm not quite sure it's going to be up for the job. So we'll see. It's going to be a challenge. I'm going to try. I'm actually going to try because I want to be able to do it. It's not that I want to prove that it can't. I want to be able to do it. But I have a feeling it's going to take every little bitty ounce of juice that thing can produce. So anyway, let's see. I wanted to cover a couple of things before I get started. First off, so every morning I won't be pointing out a video or something, that where somebody did something wrong. However, as long as the Father puts it on me to do so, in the mornings, I will put out a little short, a little less than 1 minute video, and I'm not doing it because it's cute. I think they're stupid. I think they're the most ignorant thing in the world. But this ain't about me. So as long as he keeps giving me these tidbits to put out, I will. And I've already got the next couple that, like I say, it's been put on my heart. So, however, what I am doing, and this is new, started yesterday, if you missed, is I'm going to be telling you a video of the day, my video of the day, okay? And so I will also be doing, I will also be putting, it's not in there right now, I will put it in there after the show. I will also put in there the link in the description for the video of the day. So today, the video of the day was Beau the Fifth Column, and it's a video titled, "Let's Talk About 1 in 5 Thinking Trump Will Be Reinstated." Incredibly good video. What I think it does a good job of pointing out is just how much and how easily people can be misled. I don't always, agree with Beau's viewpoints on things. A lot I do. But I will say that he bases everything off of factual information. That's the truth. And so that video did a real good job, in my opinion, of showing I mean, I'm going to call it lunacy. Because it is. It's delusional. And watch the video, and you'll see why. If you don't understand why it would be delusional for somebody to think that Trump can be reinstated in August, go watch his video. Everything he states is fact. And that is just how easy we can be misled. And the reasoning why the people were misled, he explains in the video as well. And that I assure you he is correct about. So anyway, I'll put the link in the description of the video, but it'll be after the show. So if you're watching this live, it's not there right now. So I wanted to say that, and I think that covers that stuff. So, good deal. Updates as far as we're concerned. Don't really know of any. Just kind of doing the things, trying to get the stuff out, trying to get stuff done. That's pretty much it. I can't think of any other things off the top of my head. So that leaves me to the topics, and what I did tonight. The first topic's not going to be a very long discussion whatsoever. However, the second topic, once again, we have a ton of information coming in as far as escalation. So I'm telling you, it's not great. The situation is not great. So let me cover the quicker, easier story first. What am I referring to? Let me get this up here. Let me have a sip of tea real quick and a couple of vapes. Yummy, yummy. I guess while I'm having the vapes real quick, I can get this out. Ooh. Okay, hang on. This one actually has to get added to the conversation, as a matter of fact. So, bear with me just a second. Let me get these shared out. Like I say, this stuff is getting kind of crazy, and it's going kind of quick. They ain't playing around. That's for sure. Oops. 1 second. I had one more. And it I just have to share. I don't have to open it in the window too. News has been pretty forthcoming today, and once again, that new little addition on Windows is a remarkable thing. I love that. That thing is so awesome. All right. So first up, I want to talk about this. The article is from Business Insider and is titled, "A single Fastly customer changing their settings triggered the giant internet outage that hit Reddit, Spotify, and the White House's site." So, in other words, one of their customers, just as it says, changed the setting and bloop, everything went down. Now, coming from a position where I do build websites and I do understand, I don't understand coding and computer coding, but I kind of understand the idea behind it, if you understand what I mean. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's easy to mess up something so that you go in and you try to use a certain feature, and if that part of the script for that certain feature is messed up, it can cause the entire system to crash or whatever. That's kind of a given. And so anyway, what I wanted to point out is that this could happen anywhere. Okay, now mind you, they really go over with a fine-tooth comb, especially stuff that goes into infrastructure, but it doesn't mean that something can't be missed, or it doesn't mean that there's, and there always is anyway, that there isn't some holes or something like that, you know, somebody that's nefarious with malicious intent can find and exploit and move forth with their mission. You know, it's not out of the question. And I wanted to point this out because this really shows just how fragile the system is. It truly does. Now, this was a very minimal thing that happened because of the system that it affected. But what if this would have affected some other type of system? You know, what if it would have been the power grid? What if it would have been the power grid and some kind of a bug from a setting that was changed caused the grid to send itself into meltdown? You know, basically overload its circuits and stuff like that. It's not entirely impossible. So these are things we have to think about, and the scary thing is everybody concerned wants to push more and more and more and more to digital and, you know, centralized, and it's insane. It is absolutely insane. And this is one of the reasons why you should continue to prep. This is one of the reasons why you should be prepping. we can't plan for things like this, and that's why I'm doubling down on what we're doing and trying to help as much as I can with practical information, useful stuff, right? And I don't think we got a whole lot longer to go. I think there are so many dominoes that are just teetering. It's unreal. I wanted to point this story out because it like I say, it's a clear indicator of just how vulnerable things are. And in this case, it doesn't even have to be something nefarious. It doesn't even have to be a hacker or somebody trying to, hijack a company system or anything like that. It can just be a simple bug. So, wanted to point that out. Next thing I want to talk about that I have been talking about is these war drums that have been so persistent. I don't see this letting up. And if you look kind of deeper into the nooks and crannies of the situation, stuff's pretty packed in tight. That's about the best way I can explain it. I don't think that any countries involved really have any intent on doing anything other than what they intend. I think that's very clear. Right now, I think there are multiple nations that are literally at that heightened state, ready to go right now. I think there are different things that are coming out in the news through the headlines and through their articles that show I don't quite know if I want to call it I don't want to call it an countries having an itchy finger, I don't quite want to call it that. But these countries, all of them, including us, are firmly planting their feet. And I don't think that they're going to move. I really do think we're looking at conflict pretty quick. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm the boy calling wolf. But I do not see this backing down. So I'm going to jump right into these headlines and cover them. I know you guys can't really see my screen, but I have got a slew of headlines open here, just from today. These are all from today. That's what's so concerning. Let me throw this out at you. The way that the news cycle works, the news that they want you to know, the information that they want you to know comes out on a Thursday. Huh? Yeah, it comes out on a Thursday. Why? Because Fridays, most people are less likely to be paying as much attention because they're too busy thinking of what they want to do because it's Friday. So that's why they put out important information that they want people to know and remember on Thursdays. So let me go ahead and bring this where I can kind of almost half-ass see it. All right. So we'll start out here. Pentagon makes China top priority in new directive as Deputy Defense Chief says $715 billion budget will deter aggression by Beijing. Doesn't sound like de-escalation to me. Beijing passes anti-foreign sanction law to safeguard China's core interests against Western interference. So basically, they've officially created a way to go around our sanctions, which I'm not beating my chest and saying how dare you to the I'm not, because I think this stuff's stupid. But the fact of the matter is that's not highly looked upon. Okay? Not only of course by the United States, but other nations as well, like the United Nations. So definitely an escalation there. And I think I actually got this same thing opened up a couple of times. If I do, I'll close it. American efforts to undermine Russia-China partnership are doomed to fail because Washington doesn't understand Moscow's concerns. It's a statement that was made, let's see. Hang on. Trying to think of who it was that said that. Or remember who it was. I can't remember. Anyway, let me continue on. I can't remember exactly who it was that said that. Ukrainians who oppose NATO are smart, as they know U.S. would use them as cannon fodder in red line issue for Russia, says Putin. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's a sticky situation. And like I said the other day, and I'm going to continue to say, this is their red line. I firmly believe Putin. I believe that Ukraine is their red line. And I think that there are countries, possibly the United States included, probably the United States included, even if it's, by proxy at first, they're going to push the issue. So, let's see. Iran military vessels enter Atlantic Ocean for the first time. So, and I do have a couple of articles about this opened up. This is not a good thing. Russia's Pacific Fleet kicks off large-scale drills in international waters as ships practice maneuvering far from home. I believe I've got another article with that opened up. Hang on, before I go any further. Okay. U.S. warns neighboring countries not to let Iranian warships sailing across the Atlantic, not to let in Iranian warships sailing across the Atlantic and thought to be carrying weapons. Okay. So, again, an article about the same thing. Now, let me point something out here. These ships, how do we know what's on them? I'm just saying. How do we know what's on them? Need to keep an eye on this. Quit. Let's see. Prepare for war. China military warns a new propaganda poster for Taiwan. Yeah. Thought there was another picture I thought I saw earlier. But anywho. Yeah. If that's not escalation, I don't know what is. That is how close that situation is there. Russian military intercepts U.S. spy plane while conducting massive Pacific drills in Asia. Nothing super unusual. I mean, it happens all the time. But anytime all the other tensions are up, you might want to pay attention to this stuff. And by the way, this kind of activity is definitely on a rise as well. China passes law. Oh, yeah, sorry. That was one of them that repeated. China's rocket force conducts carrier killer exercises with ballistic missiles with range of 2,500 miles. Again, these countries are getting ready to go to war. If you don't see that, I don't know what to tell you. These countries are getting ready to go to war. Please get ready. Any way you can. Please. China increasing military capability at serious and sustained rate, says a top U.S. general. Okay? Top U.S. general. I got one more on this subject here. Pentagon chief absolutely concerned about Iranian ships crossing Atlantic and proliferation of weapons in our neighborhood. And pretty much the same headline as what I already read you. But again, what I was talking about when I said not knowing what was on these ships is there could very possibly be an EMP type of weapon, you name it, on these ships. And it has long been a discussed scenario, especially in the apocalyptic author circles, for something like that to happen, a container ship or some type of ship to make it, say, like the Gulf of Mexico or off the Atlantic coast, and be able to launch an EMP. And it's a possible thing. As far as I know, it's a possible thing. There may be defense systems put up in place to where it may not have a chance. But I doubt it. I doubt it. That's the thing about an HEMP is that it's not super hard to be successful because of the fact that it blows up in the air. It doesn't have to make it to a designated location on the ground somewhere. So all it has to do is make not even half the trip. It's just got to go up, and depending on how strong it is, how wide of a radius you can get from it, depends on the optimal altitude that you want to detonate it. So it is what it is. I'm not saying that's what's going on with these Iranian vessels. I have no idea. I know they're saying they're doing it in support of Venezuela. I have no idea. There's so much going on right now. Do I believe that they're going into no. No. But what the hell they're up to, I have no clue. Very interesting, though. Very interesting. But like I told you, I would continue to get ready. The reason why I'm pushing like this stuff out with this solar is because I think it's important. And, knowing these tidbits of information that hopefully I'm bringing to you are vital. When it comes to this, when it comes to things like solar panels and power banks and stuff like that, I don't want people to be in a situation to where they were under the assumption that they were going to be able to do something with a product that they can't. And so I want to make sure that I can put out any information that I can, give as many examples as I can, and try to help as much as I can in those areas so that that doesn't happen. And I know a fair amount about electricity and whatnot, so I figured I'll pass what I can along when it comes to that. Again, I don't want folks to be left in the dark literally and figuratively. So, but anyway, trying to think if there's anything more I can think of to add. I mean, to be honest, I think just covering the headlines when it comes to the war drum situation, so to speak, was pretty informative. I mean, I think that really sets the tone for where we're at. There are a lot of other crazy things going on in the news today. And recently, hang on, Blue. Sheesh. I'm telling you. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. I'm going to get... Oh. Yeah, you can see her now. Oh. I'm sure you probably didn't hear that, but... Oh. Yeah. Probably best if I sleep outside tonight. Safer anyway. So... Anyway, the craziness is all across the board today in the news. There are a few different things that I do kind of want to stop and discuss a little bit when it comes to the headlines. So I'm probably going to go ahead and jump on into those so that I can do that. Have a sip, a couple of vapes, you know the drill. Get the video switched over so I don't forget. Yeah, I'll tell you what though, I was shocked with that little bitty power unit. That thing's pretty awesome. Let's see. Oh, hey, I'm live. That's interesting. Didn't know that. Good thing to know. Alright. Get my screens back all together here. That's better. Believe it or not, still don't have enough monitors. 3 or 4 more, and no, don't need that many. Alright, let me bring this over here. Covered that one. I'm gonna try once again not to repeat headlines. I'm gonna try. I can't guarantee I'll be successful. Let's see. Student who led Oxford vote to cancel the Queen as a symbol of colonial history turns out to be American. Imagine that. A landscaper, St. Louis County prosecutors say deadly shooting over grass clippings was self-defense. And, yeah, talk about a twist of events. I know I was listening to, well, not listening, but I mean, I checked this headline out when it very first came out because it happened somewhat, well, not local to us, but St. Louis. So anyway, I thought, man, that's kind of crazy, right? Guy goes to talk to some people about not blowing grass clippings and stuff into his yard and, cleaning up their mess, and they shoot him. How crazy is that? Well, it comes out that he was the one that originally pulled a gun on the landscaping people. And so apparently this guy was known in the area for being like this. And so the landscaper brought his brothers with him. And in the image there, you see one of his brothers there in the white shirt. And he had another brother that was hanging out back of the truck. It's a good thing he did, because all of you see on the video here, because there is the video from the Ring camera, is they walk around to the side of the building, and they're over there just a matter of moments before the shooting happens. Well, what happened was the guy walking out of his house there had a gun in the front of his pants and pulled it on the landscaper and the one brother. I guess the other brother in the truck saw it, hopped out, and took off running and shot the dude. So no charges are going to be filed or anything like that. It apparently is considered a clear case of self-defense. And that's that. So, wow. Brazilians came from the jungle. Argentine president forced to apologize after racist quote causes uproar or something. Uproar. Bitcoin rallies after El Salvador adopts the new crypto as legal tender. I didn't do this headline because it wasn't. As U.S. military exits from Afghanistan, Pentagon considering airstrikes if Taliban threatens to take Kabul, says the media. I didn't include that in the earlier discussion because that's not part of the bigger conflict that I'm concerned of. Saudi Arabia says it is no longer an oil-producing country. I guess maybe they're doing beads now. I don't know. Rescue operation underway as Mumbai building collapses after first monsoon downpour, killing 11 and injuring many more. White House announces it will donate 500 million doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine to low-income countries. And you can make that 500 million in two, right? You got to have two of that one. And actually, you can have Jen's too, I'm sure, so that's 4. What? They didn't have your vaccine, right? Oh. She's like, what? I'm like, they didn't have yours, right? She didn't catch what I was talking about. Ukrainian plan for new race law, which refuses to recognize Russians as indigenous people, has echoes of Hitler, Putin warns. India's economy shows signs of recovery with huge jump in exports and imports. Lukashenko turning Belarus into Europe's North Korea, and I never can say her name, but she tells the U.S. Senate asking Biden for sanctions against the industry. Scared myself with my e-cig. I hate when I do that. I accidentally pull the trigger on it, and if you hold the trigger for long enough, it'll start popping. It's like, and if you know... if you know what lithium-ion batteries can do when they go up, it's kind of like almost the same noise when they very first start venting. So in other words, it makes you want to throw it out of your hand. Anyway, world's highest daily COVID-19 death toll recorded in India after eastern state revises numbers upwards. Yeah, let me have a vape of my hand bomb. Alright, researchers discover cool Neptune-like planet that might have clouds made of water. I like clouds of vapor. More than 1,000 people arrested in China over allegations of money laundering using cryptocurrencies. Wasn't me. Talked about that. Waiving intellectual property rights for COVID-19 vaccines is no silver bullet, says the EU Council head. Well, what's the EU Council foot say? Wealthiest Americans... That must be what they said. Wealthiest Americans aren't paying tax because they run the system, says Professor Wolf. Americans... I covered that one. And cover that one. Biden intervention significant in overcoming Northern Ireland deadlock, says the Irish Prime Minister. Bitcoin mining could be part of the clean energy future, market expert tells RT's Kaiser report. Empire 2.0 fantasy. Boris Johnson pins G7 article on post-COVID world, draws flack for hypocrisy and undermining democracy. Taiwanese activists demand government ends discriminatory COVID restrictions on migrant workers. Pundits Twitter whip Bojo after PM takes private jet from London to Cornwall. Are you sure it's not a cornhole? To attend climate-focused G7 summit. What? Huh? I didn't say that. Titan says deal to manufacture AstraZeneca COVID jab fell through as production demands were too high. Sorry, that whole thing. Okay, it's all good. Russian operatives who reportedly tracked Navalny before last summer's alleged poisoning also tailed the famous author Bellingcat. Cross said, I'm a teacher, but I serve God first. I will not affirm that a biological boy can be a girl and vice versa because it's against my religion. It's lying to a child. It's abuse to a child. Now, that didn't normally show up there. The headline actually states, Judge reinstates Virginia gym teacher who refused to use preferred pronouns. However, that is a quote by said teacher, and I wanted to say it too. So I included it right there in the tweet, and yeah, right on. Sex Matters, UK woman who lost job after transgender tweet wins tribunal appeal. You know, there's not a lot of opinions that I'll really give strongly as far as my stance on something, like boom, you know. But, yeah, this is one. Not this, but this. Sorry. Sometimes I'm bad about that. I'll comment one story after, you know what I mean? I'll make my comment after I'd already talked about another topic, so sorry. Russia mulls 70-year social media and press interview ban for murderers, rapists, and pedophiles in bid to stop glamorization of evil. Siberia, and this is why you don't fuck with Russia. Siberian bodybuilder pulls 40-ton Boeing 737-500 plane 15 meters, smashes record set by Russia's multiple-time strongest man. That's a strong dude. Leering, jeering, and dick pics. Yes. Wait, what? UK report finds sexual harassment normalized in schools. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. I don't know what we need to do to change this culture, but we need to change it. Because this isn't good. Look, I know what it's like to be a kid. I've got a little experience being one, and hell, some people will probably tell you I never quit. But, man, I know that kids have urges, they have desires and stuff like that. But we don't need to be putting into that. We don't need to be encouraging that at all. Kids need to be kids. They don't need to be thinking about sex. They don't need to be thinking about, can mom and dad pay the bills? Or mom or dad, because they don't have both. They don't need to be thinking about the slew of things that they're being forced to think about today. The agendas and the bullshit that's getting crammed down their throats. The things that they're getting made to choose a side on. We have to change this culture, folks. And it starts with us. Right here. In our hearts. It's got to start in our hearts. Because we got to change it in our homes. Because that's how it's reflecting in our children. and it comes out in the world. Why in the hell do you think we're at where we are? EU Parliament votes to sue European Commission as MEP's overwhelming call for Brussels to take action on rule of law. Iran military vet. Oh, I covered that one. French prosecutors demand 18 months behind bars for man who slapped Macron. Chat app Sting tells U.S. intel agencies are interested in more than just backdoors, CI whistleblower John Kirikow tells RT. Germany introduces new digital COVID-19 immunity certificate. U.S. consumer prices soar at the fastest pace since 2008 financial crisis. That is a headline to pay attention to. Okay? And to put that in other words, inflation. Inflation is increasing at the fastest pace since 2008. Okay? Not good. And to be honest, I think it's going to smash it. I think 2008 is going to be child's play. A UK health secretary defends handling of COVID-19 pandemic amid accusations he lied about government's response. Let's see, covered that. Most EU citizens see Russia as an ally or a partner rather than a rival or an adversary, new narrative busting polling reveals. Now, this is likely propaganda. Well, it's a poll, so it's definitely propaganda. But think about what this propaganda is trying to do. Moscow to open extra hospital capacity and heighten measures to control COVID-19 as cases rise in Europe's largest city. Report reveals 1 in 8 terror suspects in Britain last year were children. Crazy, huh? Famine hits Ethiopia's Tigray region, UN humanitarian chief says, with 350,000 reportedly at risk. Russia's Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine exceeds clinical trial results with over 94% efficacy and strong safety in large Bahraini sample. Let's see, I covered that. Oh, yeah, dog ejected from SUV in Idaho crash found herding sheep 2 days later. Yes. Family dog, they were involved in a car accident, and the dog unfortunately was ejected out the rear window of the vehicle. They searched for like over 10 hours, I believe it was, with passerbys that stopped and stuff like that. So they looked for a considerable amount of time for the dog and could not find the dog. So finally went home, and the lady, she had put up a Facebook post with pictures of the dog and talking about what happened, and it got like over 3,000 some odd shares or what have you, and some dude saw the post and happened to recognize the dog being this crazy dog that just popped up out of nowhere trying to herd his sheep. So he contacted them and let them know, your dog's out here trying to herd my sheep. So I thought that was an interesting story. Citroën, and I know I probably said that wrong, and Peugeot become the latest automakers to face French prosecution over emissions cheating scandal. What's in your Happy Meal? Some of McDonald's signature French fries come from potatoes grown on Bill Gates' farmland, says reports. That is some unsettling stuff right there. Surrounding protesters is illegal, top French court says, in ruling against controversial government law enforcement plan. Wife of imprisoned cartel leader El Chapo pleads guilty to U.S. drug trafficking charges after helping to run his empire. U.S. says it has reached, or UK says it has reached 333 million pounds fishing quota agreement with EU. Biden administration calls on Nigeria to unblock Twitter for sale of freedom of expression, for sake of freedom of expression and democracy. Can you believe this? Biden is going over there and lecturing Nigeria on freedom of expression and democracy. Gonna tell them how to build a big cage around their Capitol building too? Prepare for war. We already talked about that headline. Deutsche Bank issues dire economic warning for America. Probably want to listen. Macron announces end of military operation in Sahel and says French troops to become part of international force. COVID-19 outbreak at UK hotel hosting German G7 delegation security and U.S. media after 13 staff test positive, says a report. Where's this going to lead? Feeling vindicated, Trump demands China pay $10 trillion in global COVID-19 reparations and calls Fauci science fiction. It actually sounds like a pretty good plan, but I have a feeling that bombs will start flying before that happens. EU confirms data breach as hackers claim they took FIFA 21 source code, Battlefield engine, and other loot. Yeah, the Battlefield engine. That's pretty interesting. They actually had just recently announced that they are going to be releasing Battlefield 2140. Is it 2142? And wow, that is going to be a crazy, insane game. But anyway, that is nuts that they were able to get that code. That is nuts. Russia, cover that one. U.S. sanctions network accused of funding Yemen's Houthis with tens of millions of dollars. Covered that one. U.S. personnel treated for smoke inhalation after rocket attacks on Iraq bases, but no serious damage to sites, says the State Department. Joe Biden and Boris Johnson signed New Atlantic Charter, but the world may have moved on. Let's see. Cover that one. Excessive punishment. CNN brings back pundit Jeffrey Toobin 8 months after he exposed himself on Zoom call with colleagues. Let me have a sip and a vape. Mouth dry. Telling you, quite a few headlines. Almost there, though. We're just about done. A third member of FDA advisory body resigns and calls Alzheimer drug approval worst in recent U.S. history. Ex-police chief and 5 others charged in Capitol riot conspiracy. Massive fire and explosion at San Juan power plant triggers blackouts across Puerto Rico. Let's see. See? Go Power Plus and a 60-watt panel would come in handy there. $400 billion, or roughly half of U.S. unemployment benefits paid out during COVID-19 pandemic, may have been squandered by criminals. U.S. government? What? Huh? I didn't say that. Let's see. Don't fall asleep. Trump trolls Biden ahead of summit with Putin and slams lowlifes in U.S. intelligence that undermined Helsinki. I just say the common don't break a hip, right? Oh, we covered that one. Texas to build its own border wall as Governor Abbott ramps up illegal immigration feud with Biden. And that's it. That is it for the headlines for our week and for my day, pretty much. If anything crazy happens, tomorrow or Saturday, or, I try to do the Sabbath thing on Saturday. But if something crazy happens, you can expect me. So I'm watching all this stuff very closely. It's all escalating pretty quickly. And just continue to get ready. That's the best advice I can give you. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. God willing, we'll be back Sunday. Start another week. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. Shabbat Shalom.